Hello, welcome to Manhwa Nuna. Today, we will be recapping the manga called Hima 10. Please like, comment, and subscribe to help the channel grow. Enjoy! Meet Tenichi Himari. He's your typical 16-year-old with a not-so-typical dream. This kid's got his heart set on building an amazing house someday, but not just any house. He wants to create the coziest, most welcoming home ever. And get this, he's already getting a head start by working as a house cleaner. Yup, you heard that right, and he couldn't be more proud of being a male house cleaner. Ten's not just going through the motions either. He tackles everything from scrubbing floors to folding laundry, and sometimes even whips up meals for his clients. His secret? He treats every house like it's his own dream home. Pretty cool, right? Right now, he keeps busy cleaning for 2 of his mom's friends' houses each week. And honestly, he's living for it. Ten walks through his front door after work, juggling grocery bags, when his siblings practically pounce on him. His sister Makoto's got homework troubles and asks him for help. Ten, being the sweetie he is, says sure thing, but first, he has to prepare dinner. His brother asks him what he is making for dinner, and Ten proudly announces he's trying his hand at butter chicken curry, something he picked up from his YouTube adventures. Later that evening, Mom comes home with a mail for Ten. Inside is the key to his newest cleaning gig. His siblings' jaws practically hit the floor. His brother tells him that with school and his job he will never get a day off. Ten tells his brother that he isn't wrong, but he's already saved up 678,000 yen in his first year of high school, and he has to save more for college, plus the new place pays a lot. This almost brings his mother to tears, as she can't believe that her son is saving up for tuition just because the twins will be in school at the same time as him, plus he does all the housework. Makoto volunteers to help Ten with the housework, but Ten's like, nah sis, it wouldn't be up to my standards. Ten's mom says she is happy Ten takes after his dad. When Ten asks what she means, she explains how everything went sideways when their dad got transferred for work and couldn't keep up with the house stuff anymore, and Ten defends his old man, saying it wasn't his fault. After they're done eating, Ten heads straight to his room to hit the books. This is just a regular day in Ten's life, and the wild part, he doesn't even think it's too much. He pulls out the key to the new house he will be cleaning and sees that it is a key card, which fills him with excitement. Now, everything's been pretty smooth sailing for Ten until his first day as a second year in high school. Walking into his new class, he bumps into Kanai. They're both psyched to be classmates again, the first time since the second year of junior high. Ten's thinking to himself, hey, even with 0 days off, at least he'll get to see Kanai around. As Ten gets settled, the homeroom teacher walks in with some big news. There's a transfer student, and not just any transfer student, it's the Himari Yoshino, the teenage CEO who's basically living every kid's dream. The class absolutely loses it. We're talking full-on chaos, kids shouting about how cute she is, asking if she's really the Himari. One girl gets so overwhelmed she starts crying. Meanwhile, Ten's sitting there like, wow, he had no idea Himari was such a big deal. The teacher finally gets everyone to pipe down and tells Ten that Himari is going to be sitting next to him. So he is in charge of looking after her for the day. When he asks why him, the teacher tells him that he is the class rep now, and besides, he is pretty dependable, so she is sure he will be able to help Himari out. Then the teacher tells Onoka Kanai that she is the subclass rep. Some girls try to volunteer to show Himari around instead, but the teacher shuts that down real quick, saying girls might cause more drama. Ten, being the thoughtful guy he is, asks Himari if hanging with a guy might cause problems since she's famous and all, but she just laughs it off, like, hello, she's a CEO, not a pop idol. She tells Ten to help her out and takes her seat beside him while he wonders if she is for real. Later in the bathroom, Ten's jaw is practically on the floor after seeing Himari's got a casual 800,000 followers on Insta while his buddies are giving him grief about being a social media ghost. Then they tell him how girls are obsessed with Himari's makeup line. Hima Riz. Ten's head is spinning on his way back to class like, how did he end up sitting next to such a big shot? He is shocked to see almost all his classmates surrounding his desk, and they warn him not to be a creep around Himari. He tells them he isn't a creep, and shoos them away. Finally sitting down next to the CEO herself, Ten's brain is totally short-circuiting about how to even start a conversation. But Himari beats him to it. She's all casual, asking if she can call him Himari. When he agrees, she asks him what he wants to call her. Ten says he can't call her Himari, and she tells him that only girls call her that. Then when he suggests Yoshino, she totally calls him out, laughing about how she knew he wouldn't dare use her first name, which makes Ten wonder if she is being condescending on purpose. Then she tells him that she doesn't need a babysitter and she wants to hang with the girls first. Just as class is about to start, she pleads with him to let her look at his book because she won't be getting hers till the following day. As the class progresses, she sneezes. She says it is the dust and that her allergies are getting worse, which makes Ten wonder what her home life is like and think that she probably has a perfect house. Lunch rolls around and Ten's basically melting into his desk, completely wiped out, lunchbox sitting there untouched while his friends rag on him about not being ready for Himari's big city energy. In Ten's mind, sitting next to her is like being surrounded by 10 popular girls at once. Talk about stress. Kanai asks him if things are going well with Himari, and he tells her that everything is good and that Himari said she doesn't need his help. Kanai volunteers to help him if he needs it as his assistant, and Ten admits he never wanted to be class rep anyway. Kanai says it is because he never says no. Then she tells him that she thinks he will be a great class rep mid-conversation. Their teacher bursts in like a tornado, yelling Ten's name, and asks him if he has seen the commotion Himari is causing in the cafeteria, and oh boy, what a situation. The cafeteria's turned into a full-on fan convention, with basically the entire school trying to get selfies with Himari or just bask in her presence. Ten charges in like a hero, or maybe more like a flustered class rep, yelling her name and yanking her out of there. In the hallway, she apologizes but pulls her hand away quick, and when Ten flinches as he apologizes back, she can't help but laugh at how he flinches like a girl. Then she actually admits he helped her out and mentions how she was probably cramping the style of the girls she was lunching with. Ten asks her if it's tough to say no when you're famous, but Himari turns it right back on him. She's like, look who's talking. She tells him that she says no when she isn't up for stuff, but being the center of attention, getting compliments about how cute she is, and finding out people buy her makeup makes her feel proud. But it has nothing to do with why she is famous, plus she doesn't want to ruin her brand, which Ten understands. So Himari's not letting Ten off the hook. She wants to know why Mr. Can't Say No didn't turn down babysitting duty. Ten tries to play it cool but Himari's not buying it, so he spills. He says he is in charge of all the housework at home, so he is used to picking up the slack when someone asks, and he really likes it when people count on him. He feels like it will pay off one day, like how being class rep will give his school record a boost. Mid-conversation, Ten recalls that he left his lunch in class and he bolts back to class. Now it's Himari's turn to be shocked when she sees Ten's lunch spread. He tells her that he makes the difficult dishes over the weekend and keeps them in the fridge so it doesn't interfere with his mornings. Himari challenges Ten to rock, paper, scissors for his food, and when she wins and snags a bite, tries to go for round 2 but Ten finally puts his foot down, so she turns away and starts taping her phone. Ten thinks that at some point talking to her started to feel natural. He respects her, and he probably won't talk to her much once he is done watching over her. After school, Ten gets a text from someone named Nakano, thanking him for agreeing to clean their place. But hold on to your hats, folks, because when he shows up at this fancy apartment, 2 things hit him. First, it's a total mess, and second, that smell seems weirdly familiar. Then bam! In walks Himari, rocking a face mask. And both of them absolutely lose it. She's so shocked to see Ten's her cleaner that she literally falls over. Ten tells her that someone named Nakano asked him to clean the apartment, and Himari says that Nakano is her aunt and her parental guardian since she moved to Tokyo, but she doesn't live in the apartment, meaning Himari lives alone, which shocks Ten. As he's looking around at this disaster zone of an apartment, finally explaining all those sneezes, Himari's having her own meltdown about how cleaners are supposed to be women. She also says that she hired Ten because she heard he was saving to pay for school. Ten realizes that his life is going to be a rough ride with this schoolgirl president. When they settle down in Himari's mess of a living room, she tells Ten that she would like to request his services twice a week for 3 hours of cleaning sessions. Ten asks her if it isn't weird having a guy from their class coming and going from her place, and Himari dramatically responds by yelling, "No. My life is over." When Ten suggests finding someone else, she tells him that she can't let him go free after he has seen her apartment. He promises not to tell anyone, but she doesn't believe him, and she even threatens to call a lawyer if he does because she doesn't want to seem like a failure as the president and face of Hima Riz. Then she gets all skeptical, asking if he even knows what he's doing, and she says everything. Right on cue, she sneezes and says that she really needs a competent house cleaner because of her allergies. But our boy Ten's got tricks up his sleeve. He whips out his secret house cleaning weapon, a polar ion light, which he's dubbed the Tenichi light. How cute is that? He explains to her that she can see dust as he demonstrates, and she is shocked to see the amount of dust in her house. He gives her the touch so she can inspect the house. Once he is done, he decides to start with the kitchen, which turns out to be the dirtiest room in the house. Ten's practically bouncing with excitement. Only a true cleaning nerd would be pumped about a disaster zone kitchen. He excitedly tells Himari that the kitchen is basically unusable, which surprises her. He asks her about some unopened boxes, and she tells him that they are filled with the cooking stuff and dishes her aunt gave her. As Ten gets ready to clean, he asks her if she is going to watch him, and she says no, as she is too busy for that, and leaves, saying she is going to her room. Minutes later, Ten, bless his heart, barges into Himari's room without waiting for a "come in" after knocking and catches her mid-clothes change. She pulls her skirt up, screaming while Ten slams the door, yelling apologies through it. When she peeks out, death glare activated, he swears up and down he didn't see her underwear. She asks him what he wants, and he tells her that normally, his clients prep cleaning supplies for him to use, and he comes to see if she has any. Since she doesn't have it, she hands him 10,000 yen for supplies, ready-made dinner, and groceries. As he is about to leave, she stops him and requests that he give her his phone because she doesn't want him taking pictures of her. And she doesn't trust him yet. So he gives her his phone and leaves while she retreats to her room blushing, wondering what kind of mess he thinks she is. As Ten makes his way downstairs, he thinks that he messed up, and he needs to remember that this is a girl's house, and this is where the teen icon, Himari, lives, even though it doesn't look like it. Fast forward a few hours, and this time Ten's learned his lesson, knocks and waits. Inside, President Himari wraps up a business call like a boss before letting Ten in. When Ten walks in, he does a double take. There's Himari in comfy clothes, bare face, totally casual. She tells him that when she works from home, she doesn't bother with makeup. So if he is going to hang around her, he should better get used to her at her worst. Though Ten doesn't think she looks bad, then it's inspection time. Armed with the dust detecting light, she's blown away, not a speck of dust in the living room. Next, the kitchen is even cleaner than the day she moved in. Plus, Ten's gone above and beyond, organized all those boxed up dishes and cooked. So there's Himari, sitting down to eat, asks Ten why he cooked. Ten explains that he couldn't find any decent ready-made food, plus it's pretty obvious she's been living the takeout life. As she eats, she says that she can't believe that her classmate is making her dinner, and she is such a loser. He tells her that there is nothing wrong with hiring someone to clean for her. But Ten's quick to shut that down. He tells her that there is nothing wrong with hiring someone to clean for her. She is running a company and making a living on her own, which makes it as kind of cool to outsource the cleaning. Himari's totally touched by this, but you know she plays it cool. As Ten's about to leave, Himari reminds him of his phone. But instead of just handing it over, she smushes it right into his face to unlock it, and saves her number. Then she texts him while they're literally standing right there that the food was yummy, and the cleaning he did was perfect. She also texts him that she wants him to make dinner every time he comes to clean because she is tired of eating out. He tells her that she should talk to him face to face, and agrees to cook for her. Then she adds that he doesn't have to give her his phone from then on, and she accepts him as her house cleaner. The next day, Ten packs lunch for Himari. He texts her about it, and she replies, telling him to make it look like she packed it herself. Just as Ten arrives at school, Himari calling him for a top-secret library meetup, all the way in the back, like they're in some spy movie. When Ten finds her there, she's literally hiding, and when he asks her about it, she tells him that he was the one that offered to bring lunch for her and she accepted despite it being too risky. She opens her bag, and tells him to put the lunch, and as he does, he asks her why they are doing this like some shady back alley deal. Just as they are about to go to class, Himari tells Ten to wait 3 minutes before following because if they are seen together there could be rumors that would spawn if they are seen walking to class together. She also tells him that he should treat her like any transfer student, who sits next to him. By the time Ten makes it to class, it's the usual Himari show. She's got her fan club of girls all around her, gushing about her makeup line. Ten's friend Yakumizo gazes longingly at Himari, talking about her successes, and wishes he was the one sitting next to her, and Ten's just thinking, dude, if you only knew. Himari pulls this Oscar-worthy performance, greeting Ten like she's just seeing him for the first time that morning. Thanking him for the textbook thing yesterday. Ten standing there like, what is even happening right now? Then comes Kanai saying good morning to Ten, wanting to chat. As they talk, Himari watches them, and then she stands up abruptly, shouting, which startles Ten and Kanai. Ten thinks Himari trying to cover up their secret arrangement, but nope. She's just completely smitten with Kanai. She calls Kanai adorable, grabs her hands as she gushes over her beauty, shocking Ten, who thinks that Himari has her sights on Kanai. Himari asks Kanai for her contact info, and as Kanai gives it to her, while Himari's getting Kanai's contact info, Ten tells Kanai to take her time while he gets the notebooks, but Kanai refuses. She promises Himari they'll catch up later and heads off with Ten. On their way, Kanai blushes as she talks about how surprised she was when Himari called her cute. The way back to class, Kanai volunteers to help Ten carry some of the notebooks, and as she does, Ten could not help but notice her pretty face, which causes him to flinch. He tells himself that he is going to try talking to Kanai more. Himari invites Kanai to eat with her, thinking that at this rate, Himari and Kanai would become friends and he will never get the chance to become friends with Kanai, thanks to Himari's whole "avoid me at school" rule. At the cafeteria, Himari brags to the girls how cooking is a form of stress relief for her, causing Ten, who overheard her, to laugh. Big mistake, as he can practically feel Himari's death glare burning into him. Himari opens her lunch, and everyone gasps in surprise and even starts showering her with compliments. Even Himari's sitting there practically drooling over her own supposed cooking. When Kanai points out how surprised Himari looks, our president pulls the smoothest save ever. Oh. You know, just my first time using an insulated flask. After school, Himari meets up with Ten in the library to return the lunchbox, and then she asks him if he is close to Kanai. When Ten mentions they go way back to middle school, she tells him that she wants to be friends with Kanai, and if that happens, the three of them will be friends. Ten reminds her that she said he should avoid her in school, and she tells him that she said he should act normal. Then she asks him if he could make lunch even on days she isn't cleaning for him, and he agrees. As they leave the library, they do not see Kanai, who is standing behind one of the shelves, wondering what they are doing together. 2 days later, Himari says goodbye to Ten after school, saying she will see him later, and by later, she means when he shows up for round 2 of house cleaning duty. As Ten's heading out, he bumps into Kanai, who's just absent-mindedly sighing. When Ten asks her what is wrong, she tells him that she is just nervous because she has work later that day, and it is her second time. Then, out of nowhere, she asks him what he is doing with Himari in the library, which makes Ten practically jump out of his skin. She says that she is impressed that he and Himari are close, and Ten quickly says that they aren't close, they just accidentally bumped into each other and randomly started talking. Kanai tells him not to say it like that, and he tells her that he just doesn't want her to get the wrong idea about him and Himari because she is a celebrity. Kanai says that she doesn't think it would be weird if he already got Himari to warm up to him. After Kanai leaves, he gets a text from Himari to meet him at the station. He goes there wondering why she wants to meet in public when she is the one who wants to keep their relationship private. When he spots her, she's decked out in disguise, a hat and sweatshirt thrown over her school uniform. He asks her why she is in disguise, and she tells her life would literally be over if someone spotted us hanging out outside school. When Ten asks why she asked him to meet her, she tells him to go shopping because he complained about her not having a vacuum cleaner and other stuff for cleaning. So she brought him so he could pick what he needed, and she wished she hadn't forgotten to order stuff online the previous day. They check out vacuum cleaners, and Himari picks out the most expensive vacuum cleaner. But then Ten mentions she really needs a rice cooker too. Suddenly, she's all about that budget vacuum so she can splurge on the fanciest rice cooker instead. After paying, they arrange for delivery since these things are huge. It'll take a whole week, and they both have this moment like, ugh, we could have just clicked buy now online and saved ourselves the trip. But they're both super stoked thinking about all the perfect rice Ten's gonna make. She tells him that she likes her rice slightly firm, and when Ten says to him too, she tells him that she knows because it is what he put in her lunchbox. That's when Ten remembers, oh snap, Kanai saw them. Himari practically has a mini heart attack, but Ten quickly jumps in to calm her down, promising Kanai's totally gonna keep it under wraps. Himari lets out a massive sigh of relief. Next thing you know, Himari's dragging Ten into this makeup store, which makes Ten uncomfortable. They're hanging around Himari's makeup display, which is wild. She's got her own section, and she's practically glowing with pride. Suddenly, they hear some girls coming, and Himari yanks Ten away like they're in some spy movie. They watch the girls buy some stuff, which excites Himari. As the girls pay, Himari pulls Ten out of the store, saying if he hadn't been there she would have shown up for her fans. They head to this packed coffee shop next, and Himari hands Ten her cafe card and dips to the bathroom to powder her nose, aka avoid getting spotted. Ten gets nervous when he overhears some guys saying the girl at the counter is super cute. But when he finally gets to the front, it's Kanai behind the counter. Their jaws both drop at the same time, like what are you doing here? Kanai's cheeks go pink as she asks Ten if it's weird that she works here, and he tells her that it is a perfect job for her. When she asks if he's been shopping, he gets super twitchy, suddenly remembering who he's here with. He mumbles something about having to get to work soon and orders 2 coffees. While Kanai's working her barista magic, Ten's frantically trying to text Himari to head straight outside once she is done with the bathroom. Kanai's getting all nostalgic, saying that they never got to talk much the previous year, but she feels like they are getting so many chances recently, which is why this school year is so much fun. Immediately, Kanai places the coffee in Ten's hands, and Himari grabs one while talking, not noticing Kanai. Then it hits her. She does a double take when she spots Kanai, totally freaking out for a split second before pulling herself together like a pro. She's all casual, like, oh hey, you work here. While Ten realizes that he forgot to send Himari the text message. Himari's keeping up the friendly chat while she secretly stomps Ten's foot, ouch, as payback. Kanai asks Ten if he got 2 coffees because he was shopping with Himari. Himari jumps in, saying that she and Ten coincidentally ran into each other and that she lives around there. She thanks Ten for the coffee super quick and bolts, throwing out a breezy promise to visit Kanai at work sometime. After she leaves, Ten nervously tries to explain to Kanai that he wasn't trying to hide the fact that he was with Himari. And she lets him know that she understands. She also tells him he should treat Himari normally since she is their classmate. as Ten and Himari walks to her place, Ten tells Himari what Kanai said, and Himari goes full fangirl mode over Kanai, gushing about how glad she is that Kanai was the one who caught them together because she's just so genuine. Ten agrees that Kanai is super nice, which makes Himari ask him if he is implying that she is two-faced. Ten thinks that Himari doesn't need to hide this part of herself from Kanai because Kanai is the type of person who wouldn't mind, because the universe has perfect timing. Two girls across the street start doing that not-so-subtle pointing and whispering thing. Is that really Himari? And who's that guy? Is he her boyfriend? Ten opens his mouth to say something to Himari, but she shushes him and tells him to pick up the pace slowly. Then, because dramatic timing is everything, this huge gust of wind comes out of nowhere and yoinks Himari's hat right off her head. Ten, being the gentleman he is, goes to grab it, but oops. Now these girls get a perfect view of Himari's face. Their eyes go wide, phones come flying out of their pockets at lightning speed. Next thing you know, Himari's grabs Ten's hand in a death grip and they're booking it down the street like they're in an action movie. When they finally stop under this tree, Himari's basically dying, gasping for air like she just ran a marathon. Between breaths, she's like, yeah, maybe this whole walking around together thing wasn't our brightest idea. Ten tries to lighten the mood, saying worst case scenario, people think they're dating. But Himari gets all serious, saying she's worried about him getting dragged into her crazy world since he's just a normal guy. When he asks if that's why she ran a watt, she tells him that protecting her employees is one of her duties, and adds she doesn't want anyone to think he is her boyfriend. Then she starts fussing about her spilled coffee and her fancy hat that's probably being trampled somewhere. Ten examines the stain in days that he thinks he can't get it out because getting rid of stains is part of his job. Himari blushes and thinks that her house cleaner is totes competent. She gets all shy, looking away while asking how he's gonna fix it, and he tells her that he will wash it once he gets to her house. But first, special technique time. He digs through his bag like Mary Poppins and pulls out his trusty Tenichi brush and soap combo. Meanwhile, back at the cafe, Kanai's on her break, staring at this sticker with Ten's name on it, thinking about how she should have stuck it on his cup. Then she gets this wistful look, wishing she was the one sitting next to Ten in class instead. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, like, subscribe and comment 10 for more parts. Thank you, bye.